It's showtime on a Friday, folks. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. We made it. It's cold, but who cares? We just power through.
We do.
What's up, JoJo?
I just was sitting down and I guess Robbie and Rexo had on ESPN, and the story I saw was Yankees allowing facial hair for the first time in 49 years. So I guess
I literally just saw that.
right.
Jeff Passan putting it out there, others putting it out there. The statement from the Yankees basically saying, we've decided to change it. You can grow a beard as long as it's well groomed. I'm like, welcome to the 21st century,
right.
New York Yankees. You put names on the back of your jerseys next?
Yeah, right. That just struck me as funny because it's like all that's going on in the world. That's the first thing I saw about allowing facial hair. I think the Navy allows beards, if I'm correct on that.
I believe it's like an exemption, like a medical exemption or something.
Well, I just thought because they're at sea for so long, they're not shaving. If a Navy guy could weigh in on that for us, because it's something along those lines, Dr. Crane. I don't know exactly what, but I know the other ones are only on mustaches, I think, but there's a exemption for something on that. I remember the Navy guys, when we lived in Hawaii, had these huge beards. Like, I want a long beard like that. And I couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. Some things in life you can't do, Chase.
Some things in life you can't.
Right,
do,
man.
You know, that's just how it is. But Sean Henry's not on today. I know we would talk about this Yankees development with him if he was, but you know, it's okay. It's fine.
Religious reasons and medical, according to our ombudsman.
That's what it says here on the digital web.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
All right,
there you go.
You.
Thank you, Dr. Crane. U.S. comes up short against Canada last night. Fun game. And I actually thought, like, after the game, I was on Twitter. I thought Jared had a really interesting tweet that I was like, you know what? I think this is a good feeling, or a good tweet. And he said, 2 weeks ago, I didn't really care about this tournament. And I think a lot of people kind of felt that way. Like, what is this? Who knows? And tonight I'm sad we lost. Like, I think so many people got invested in it. You know, and for me, I watched the first game of, I think it was Finland and or Sweden and Canada or something like that. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. Like, I'm into this. And then obviously the U.S. and Canada, when that happened, it was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Well, that's cynicism at its highest, to poo-poo something that you don't know anything about.
Right, but I'm guilty of it too, though.
You talked about, like, I'm interested to see what goes on and all that. But that's why I stopped in my life. Like, our Dr. Crane loves soccer, right? I can't stand soccer.
Sure.
But I'm not going to down him for loving soccer. For you loving it, if you like it, that's fine. I am all for you being happy. And the fact that more people got this and watched it, and at a time we needed this kind of uniting of spirit, I loved it. Oh, it was great. Not once I was like, look, if you're into it, man, I love it for you. That's great. I think all too often we don't celebrate other people's happiness, not to the extreme of like, oh my God, yeah, just like, hey man, that's very cool. I'm glad you like that. That's me.
Yeah, no, I feel that. And look, you know, we have Coach BJ Callahan coming up today. Nashville SC's coaches, they get ready to open their season against New England. Nick Keiser, in case you're wondering back there, not the Chicago Fire, it's New England. So looking forward to having BJ on the show and talk about his club. I mean, you know, for those of you that have kind of followed Nashville SC since the beginning, this team has had a lot of turnover. A lot of familiar faces are gone. Some are still there, but we'll talk to Coach Callahan about that. Chris Sanders will join us today for his usual visit, and then we'll have a member of the Preds front office join us as well. But, you know, and I hear your point, but I think the NHL should be very, very happy today. You know, Gary Bettman, Bill Daly, the Players Association, everybody involved should be very, very happy. Now, you know, there might be some things they have to look at. Obviously, some guys are banged up. You know, Charlie McAvoy, his whole injury situation. So some of the teams, the NHL teams, might not be too happy because some of their key players, you know, are coming back banged up after this. But I think they got a lot of eyes on their product, and I think you're going to see some new hockey fans emerge from this.
I agree with that, but can you sustain it? That's the whole thing.
Yep, that's what they're going to have to try and do.
National show an interview with Bettman. talked about, hey, you're hockey. This is great. This is great. While the NBA All-Star game did it, and it was a stupid question to ask Gary Bettman because he's not going to gloat that hockey is where it is now. He was like, hey, I don't know. That's the NBA's kind of thing. I don't know anything about that. That's what they're doing. And, we're just worried about what we're doing and concentrating and get people, more eyeballs on this. And it's great. I mean, it's a positive reflection of what's going on. But I was like, let's don't compare. I mean, each sport's got its own ways and things that are going on and problems and success stories. And just leave it at that. I just thought it was just a dumb question. But hockey now could go into the weekend with this. Pred's got 2 games, Saturday and Sunday back to back?
Yep.
So go in there. And look, Preds fans love this hockey team. They're frustrated. You see the passion. And that's good. Because if nobody was talking about this, about how bad of a season it was for the Preds, that's a problem.
You mean if apathy had set in like it did with another professional
Across
team
the
in
street,
town?
right? 5 blocks over in a river? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they may not want to hear that, but it's the truth. And I mean, look, you're always going to have, no matter the sport, like with the Titans, I call them two-tone till I die. There's always these.
That's you.
No, not like some people.
I know. Precious.
Like there are some where it's just like they could go 0-17. Like the Titans are the greatest ever. We love Miss Amy. It's like, okay, all right, well, good for you. That's a fanatic, that's for sure. And then there are some Preds fans that are that way too. I mean, like that's the diehards, but I'm one of those, like I learned the phrase from my dad, and it's good to see Vanderbilt kind of on the upswing, but he used to say, yeah, I'm a Vandy fan. I die hard every week.
Right.
I mean, so, but I think it'll be interesting, to see how the Predators kind of rebound here and what they do with the last handful of games. Are they active at the deadline? Trying to
when is that, by the way?
March 7th.
March 7th. Is that later than
yeah, but I think they did that because of the Four Nations.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
Because the whole season's been pushed back a couple weeks. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see what they ultimately decide to do. I would say, Gus Nyquist is probably in his last handful of games as a Nashville Predator because of being in the last year of his contract. And I think you could probably get a 2nd-round pick, maybe a 1st for him. So, Barry Trotz is going to be listening to phone calls and talking. So that's just kind of the way it goes this time of year.
Are the Tkachuk brothers, you know more about this than I do, the new who are the Hanson brothers? Are they the new Hanson brothers?
Like from Slapshot?
Yeah. Like when they come to town, we're going to cheer for the Tkachuk.
Probably. I mean, I can remember, one of the Olympics. I can't remember if it was 2010 or 2014, but TJ Oshie was like a star for America, and he kind of became that guy for a little bit. So, yeah, probably.
Okay.
But, I mean, Preds fans are very familiar with Matthew Tkachuk.
Yep.
Because, they obviously wanted him to come here, and it didn't work out. But, I think they're both, and honestly, they should be familiar with both because they remember Keith Tkachuk, their father, who was a thorn in the Predators' backside in the early days. So
that he was, man. I don't know. I just thought it's cool. And now you kind of ride out the rest of the season and see what goes on.
Yeah, for sure. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Do you have a question of the day, JoJo?
Yeah. Why are you always adorable? I mean, I'd like to know that. Dr. Crane and I, we brought that
That's
up
my
earlier.
mother.
For all
She'll
that.
come up with a reason.
We're going to talk about it later on, but today's National Margarita Day. It's on the TV behind us right now.
We need some margaritas.
Yeah.
Chris in Nashville says Big Joe is the Tom Holman of local sports radio. Give me all of it. Let's go. I don't know who that is. Should I know who that is?
He's the ICE guy, the head of he's going on rounding up all the illegals.
Is the Borders are?
That guy. That guy, when he's on TV, man, you're just like, what's he going to say now? It's actually fun watching him because he's got a mission and he's got a statement and he sticks to that, and no way can you get him off that. So, no, I'm not that guy. Look, if you enjoy that, maybe a question is, did you know there's a soccer game this weekend? We have a professional sports team. Did you know?
I think a lot of people do. I'd be curious. Well, isn't Saturday supposed to be a little warmer?
Maybe.
Like above freezing.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 40 degrees, but the low is like 21.
Nikki D. Crane in there. Look at you.
Okay.
Just-
Nikki D. Crane.
Just trying to do my weather forecasting here.
Chief meteorologist.
But I
Nick
haven't
Frazier.
seen, and I listen to a lot of radio, and I watch, TV, and I haven't seen hardly any ads or promotions of their game this weekend. And Dr. Crane, had it not been for you setting up the interview with Coach Callahan from Nashville SC later on, I wouldn't have known. Now, that's my fault. That's my fault, but is there some blame lay on them? No?
Maybe.
Okay.
I feel like it's a push and pull with both parties.
All right. I mean, it is a professional sports team in our town.
Yeah.
You are right.
It's got their opening game.
I mean,
tomorrow.
Saturday's a busy day in Nashville because you have Vanderbilt Ole Miss at Memorial Gym at
Yeah.
2:30, which is a must-win for Vandy. Preds and Avalanche tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena with a 7:00 puck drop, and then Nashville SC in New England over at Geodis, which I think it starts at 7 as well. So you have options in the sports world in America's Music City, and I believe also Athletes Unlimited is going on at Municipal Auditorium. So
And I'm looking, does Middle play at home tomorrow? MTSU?
Middle is at home tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
So a big day that goes on.
And now, because I don't want to leave anybody out, Middle plays at 1:30 tomorrow at the Glass House at the Murphy Center. Vandy Baseball is at home against St. Mary's at the Hawk. They'll start at 1:00.
Look at you with the nicknames. Give me
And-
some more, man.
And then, look, I don't want to leave out TSU and Belmont in Lipscomb. We gotta look at all that, but I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Sorry.
I'm looking. at
TSU is at Tennessee Tech
okay, that's
tomorrow.
in our area.
area. Let's see. Belmont is home against Indiana State at 5:00. Lipscomb.
Lipscomb.
Yeah, Lipscomb. They play Monday against Austin Peay.
Oh, okay. So
They played last night. They beat North Alabama 75-63.
North Alabama.
Lipscomb's having a hell of a year.
Yep, they're in the A-Sun too, right? That's
Yeah.
what they're in now.
Yep.
Middle plays Sam Houston tomorrow.
Yep.
By the way, Dr. Crane, Sam Houston is the only man to be governor, senator, and president of another country. Do you know that? And he's from Tennessee.
Didn't know this.
Sam Houston.
Where did you get this? This
Oh,
is incredible.
History. History. You can get it from the history books.
All right.
What was he president of?
Mexico.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How about
Good
that?
for him.
Back in the 30s
Had a
or
city
40s.
named after him.
They did. Yeah.
Would you like to have a city named after you?
I would not.
like Dubinville.
No. No, it would be awful. It would be ran terribly. No, we don't need that.
At the local pub, they'll have like some sort of snack that's like the little doobies. Or-
I do got a question.
or
The
the-
little doobies.
oh,
Thanks.
yeah.
I do have a question. And I said to you two guys yesterday, you didn't respond back to me, which is fine because I'm going through a lot right now and I kind of need the affirmation from you two,
Sorry.
which I hardly ever get.
Sorry.
Nashville's getting a TV show called Nashville 911. It's the 911 in California.
Yeah.
It's coming here. And I sent you guys the tweet.
Yeah. I said, yeah.
Nashville 911. All right. Do we care about this? That Nashville's
let's-
getting a TV show
We can talk about that coming up next.
or throughout? I mean, what would you name? I
Well,
don't know.
We already had the TV show Nashville, which I thought was pretty bad, but
Awful.
Yeah.
It was awful.
so inaccurate.
Awful. And I had friends who were extra. Now, this is a true story. I had friends who were extra, did a lot of extras work in the national TV series. And I swear to God, on their LinkedIn profile, they had down as a profession actor. They never had a line in Nashville, but they put down actor. I was like, what are you doing?
It's
Well, I-
amazing what people put on their LinkedIn profile.
What's your say?
My actual title,
Does it?
Director of Operations and Sports Programming and show
Nice.
host.
Okay. All right. I like that.
But I've had to call some people out of, oh, hey, congratulations. I didn't know I promoted you.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah. When did that happen?
Um,
I missed that.
our friend Ricky does not have a LinkedIn profile.
That doesn't shock me. He doesn't need
Ricky,
it.
why aren't you not on LinkedIn, man? It's just another place to share his love with the populace.
Yeah. I don't know. 615-737-1025 is Chasing Big Joe on a Friday. 1025-1063 the game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. You can weigh in on our phone and text line, 615-737-1025. Yes, thank you to Jim, Lisa, and a couple others that I mistakenly said the Predators play at 7 tomorrow. It's actually a 5 o'clock game tomorrow and Sunday, so my bad. 5 o'clock puck drop for the Predators.
Is there
this
a reason
weekend
for this?
I don't know.
For moving up?
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know why they're doing that, but
well, that's
it'll
the
be
worst
cool.
thing you do today, Chase, and you're gonna have a pretty good day.
Yeah. So hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to, you could like I'm doing Vandy basketball and the Preds tomorrow.
Look at you.
You know, you could go to the Preds for a little bit and then pop over, you know, to Nashville SC to see the end. So you could do the triple threat.
Does this include a pedal tavern?
No, you will never see me on one of those.
Or if you had your own
Unless they
personal
pay me.
pedal tavern,
Yeah, maybe. Ricky has a car, so I just have him drive.
we can make it happen.
You get the back seat.
No.
Yeah, you should.
Easy now with the back seat. I'm saying some people don't have one.
Huh?
Some people don't have a back seat. They just have like one row in the front, like a
Well,
truck
that's
or
true.
something.
That's actually true. Yeah.
Okay.
Tehran's new car doesn't have a back seat.
Yeah, come on, Joe.
But I know that Ricky's car has a back seat. That's
Yeah,
why I said that.
It does.
Oh,
Now, if I know Ricky had a Corvette, I would not have been saying that.
Yeah.
But you were quick with that.
Yeah.
just
that was
saying.
good. When I was talking about TJ Oshie earlier, Brian says he defeated Russia. That's right.
He defeated Russia. Good.
Yeah.
Didn't Napoleon too?
Yeah, I think so. That's right. Raymond and Franklin, yes, Big Joe. Some of us are a little more vast in our knowledge with other sports other than football.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I'll go toe to toe with you on any sport except soccer and hockey.
Yeah.
I'll go the big three. Knowledge wise, right now, whatever you need.
Texter says, who remembers Nashville 99, a TV show on CBS in April of 1977, starred Claude Akins, Jerry Reed, and Charlie Pride. Filmed around Nashville. A couple episodes were on YouTube at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't
Claude Akins,
obviously
baby.
way before my time.
Yeah, it was an awful TV show, and it was filmed too. There's also a made-for-TV movie called Concrete Cowboy with Jerry Reed and Tom Selleck, and it was quite. Put this way, I saw better acting in my son's elementary class than I did in Concrete Cowboys. It was awful. It was right before Tom Selleck broke loose as Magnum PI.
Here was my problem. Like, I watched the pilot episode of the show Nashville, and you know, I've talked about my relationship to the Loveless, right? And you know, so
yeah,
the very first episode, the main character, she's like, well, we were just sitting down at the Loveless, and I'm like, let's just talk about how we can just randomly work in a Nashville landmark into a conversation.
Right. My problem with the show was that the people they showed on the TV show Nashville, I never saw them in Nashville growing up or living here.
Yeah.
Those people don't exist.
Right.
They only existed for the TV show.
Right. Yeah. I mean, they definitely made it a TV show.
Now you go to Santa's Pub and have some dude throwing up over his cowboy boots. And that to me, that's Nashville.
Right.
This other sweet version of Nashville with the songwriter, sorry, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I need this,
but that show, I mean, look,
rawness.
that show did a lot for, you know, this kind of growth we've seen in, because everybody's like, oh, I want to go to Nashville. And then they realize it's nothing like the show.
Right.
But it got people, you know, got people coming here.
And we, you know, nobody looks like that. Nobody talks like that. And that's fine because that's a drummed up version. Remember the country music movie called, I think it was Nashville Strong, Country Strong?
Country Strong, yeah.
With Gwyneth Paltrow?
Yeah.
That, she should be kicked out of the country for that movie. It was that bad of a movie. And Tim McGraw should be embarrassed that he was in it too. It was awful. And that was like, and we laugh because that's not us here.
Yeah.
At all. So you wonder what this Rescue Nashville 911 is going to be like. Hope it spotlights and highlights the, you know, the men and women of the first responders around town. You hope it does that. I don't know. But where are you going to spend all your time on Rescue 911 Nashville? Where would you be going?
I don't know.
Me fighting people on the pedestrian.
I mean,
bridge?
a lot of fights on Broadway.
There are, but you know,
we got another one at Tootsie's.
How long does that last?
911.
Then I'll be on the pedestrian bridge between Donaldson and East Nashville trying to keep the East Nashville weirdos out of Donaldson. I'll stand on that bridge like a sentry. I'll fight them. Is that part of the show? Can we write that in part of the show too? I don't mind doing that.
This week on Nashville 911.
You stay on your own side.
Bachelor party gone wrong.
Okay. But I guess because Angela Bassett's doing it and Fox is doing it, so it's got some legs to it that could have a little success there. So
Well,
I'm
because
excited.
the Lone Star one, 911 Lone Star, I think is ending. That's Rob Lowe.
Okay.
There's
Right.
one I haven't watched. I've heard they're good shows. Like there's 911 and then there's 911 Lone Star.
Okay.
I've heard they're good. I just haven't watched them.
Nobody watches that stuff anymore. TV.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is how I've always been. Hey, you got to check out. You remember the show House?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, hey, you got to check out the show House. It's awesome. Yeah, I'll get around to it. I started watching it when it was in its last season. Like I watched it back on DVD and
Yeah.
then Netflix and stuff. And then the show went off the air, and I'm like, have y'all seen this show House? It's awesome. Like, dude, that was 5 years ago.
But we've talked about being forced in the shows.
Yeah.
Like friends are like, you got to watch Yellowstone. No, I'm okay. What do you mean you're not watching it? But I did the same thing for Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like, watch Breaking Bad. I haven't watched. Why aren't you watching?
I have
Breaking
never seen an episode of Breaking Bad.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Why not?
Because everybody told me I needed to.
I don't need to watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
It's that good of a show.
I will never do it now because I've been told that I have to.
You'll come around.
I am
to
that.
it.
Look, no, I'm that stubborn. Ricky's listening. He knows. You keep telling me to do something,
Right.
I am not going to do it.
All right. So I will not tell you to watch Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
That you're missing
Exactly.
out on it.
right.
You know what show I'm watching now all the time? I've got it on. I tape it every day. Don't laugh. I love the show Highway to Heaven.
Where's that?
Michael Landon. It's on one of like
yeah.
TLC or Hallmark Channel during the day. It's just I know it's a pure, badly acted TV show with a great message.
And
I can't stop.
Hair Metal Henry said Joe should be kicked out of the country for watching the movie Country Strong.
I had to because a lot of TV personalities from local news was in that movie. Our friend Mick Barris was in that movie Country Strong.
Robbie said I watched Nashville for Hayden Panettiere and then realized it sucked. Yep, pretty much.
Yep, that's about it. And she was dating. I called her Hayden Panera Bread because I couldn't pronounce her last name. She was dating the Russian boxer, right? The heavyweight champion, Kalisko.
Oh, really?
Kaliko, Atari Vision, something like that.
Sorry.
His brother's like the mayor of Kiev. He's a world boxer. He's a championship boxer. Look it up, Dr. Crane. Hayden Panera Bread was dating, or she might have been married to the boxer from Ukraine.
I don't know.
And her brother-in-law his brother was the mayor of Kiev. I'm almost certain about this. And we wait for the judge's response to come back with this. As Dr. Crane, our ombudsman, looks it up and he's typing it in. I don't know how
He's
to play.
reading. He looks confused.
Yep.
I don't know how to pronounce the name. This is another phonics thing for me.
Okay.
Let's see. The guy's name starts with a K. It's like Klitschko.
Okay.
What was the first part?
All right, but he's a boxer, right?
Yeah. I mean, he looks like he's 10 foot tall.
Is he
Yeah.
still dating her?
From what I know, it
Okay.
says yes.
All right. I don't know where they met or how
I'll
they
double
met.
check for you.
Yep, but then his brother was the mayor.
People now are just got a text. You have to watch Cobra Kai, so scratch that off the list. Won't never watch
2018,
that.
they separated.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
They remain friends, it says, on good terms.
Oh, well,
No,
good
no.
then.
No, they don't.
Good then.
I love it. I love it when like actors or like famous people break up. It's like, but they remain friends. Like, no, they don't
Talk to each other.
you ever been in a relationship
Right.
that doesn't work?
I know Peaches and her broke up and they did not remain good friends.
No.
So it happens.
No, we'll tell you what's going on this weekend as play returns to Smashville. All some exciting things happening at Bridgestone Arena. We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe on this Friday, 1025, 1063 The Game. Predators return after a 2-week break tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena, 5 o'clock puck drop. Make sure I get that right. We say hello to the Preds Director of Marketing, Jarek Almazian, who is on the line with us now. Jarek, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I know you guys are ready to get things going again at Bridgestone Arena, and it's going to be a fun one as a Sunday against the New Jersey Devils. The Music City Bobblehead Series returns. Our buddy Vince Gill and his lovely bride Amy Grant will be featured this time.
That's right. That's a big one for us. We, like you mentioned, we're coming out of the Four Nations tournament break, and we flipped to Side B of Music City Hockey. We have great theme nights. We have new ticket packages, and it all starts with a big weekend. Tomorrow night we have our Saturday night in Smashville, and then, like you said, Sunday is our Music City Bobblehead Series against the New Jersey Devils. It's actually our third night of the Music City Bobblehead Series. You may remember we did Tim McGraw and Keith Urban earlier in the season. On Sunday, we celebrate two of Smashville's icons. Vince Gill and Amy Grant are actually on the same bobblehead, two legendary figures. So first 10,000 fans get a bobblehead, but make sure that you get down there early because we have our pregame party presented by Bud Light in our BetMGM Sports Lounge, and we'll have games, giveaways, live music. So going to want to get down there early to get your bobblehead and then come party with us at BetMGM Sports Lounge.
Yeah, they're going to be cool. I feel like these bobblehead series, you always do something, whether it's a player or whatever, but Tim McGraw is sitting here staring at me right now in our studio. I feel like these have all been very well received, and another great one with some legends and Vince and Amy.
Yeah, they've been really, really great so far, and it kind of ties in our overarching theme of Music City Hockey this season. Like you said, our first two nights were extremely successful. We had large crowds come out early. I actually have the first two bobbleheads on my desk at work too, staring me in the face every day while I work, and this one should be no different.
We're talking to Jarek Almazian on the Chasing Big Joe show for the Nashville Predators. Hey, back up, Jarek. Thanks for doing this. We always love you guys coming on with us. Let's back up. Is it one bobblehead stand with two heads? Is that what you said earlier with Vince and Amy?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, so Amy Grant and Vince Gill are on the same bobblehead, so it's a full body, but yeah, this one's a little bit larger because they're both on the same one. Yeah,
I don't know if they're sprouting two heads out of one body or anything. That'd be kind of cool. I would take that. That'd be kind of fun with that. I got to tell you though, this is really cool for doing all this. Plus, Jarek, what you do with all the positivity now from the Four Nation tournament, how can you guys build off of this?
Yeah, I think excitement around hockey in general is high coming out of the Four Nations tournament. I mean, what a game last night. I know it didn't go the way that we wanted for the U.S., but I think a lot of eyes were on hockey last night. So we're just trying to build off that in Smashville. And like I said, for the back half of the season, we feel pretty good about what we're going to accomplish here with our theme nights. And we're always going to bring the party in Smashville every time you come out to Bridgestone.
I love it. And, next Thursday night, the 27th, it's Hockey Fights Cancer Night. You guys, and I love the Predators, you guys do such a good job with that, with the emotion, the excitement, and everything that goes on what could be an absolute downer of an evening. But the way you guys do it, Jarek, really empowers a lot of us to care for each other, care for those that are fighting cancer. It's such a special moment. I tell people, if you can go to one game, go to that game because it's much more than hockey.
Absolutely. It's a celebration. That one in particular, too, is important because as we hopefully trend towards warmer weather here, we'll be hosting our first Plaza party since November. So the Plaza will be packed, get down early. The Plaza opens at 5 p.m. We'll have partner activations, activities, live music, all to raise funds and support the fight against cancer.
Jarek, when you're doing this as director of marketing, do you have a blank canvas and all right, let's throw ideas up here. Let's see what sticks. I guess when you do that, when somebody puts something up there or says something, or let's do that, you kind of know immediately whether or not that's going to work, right?
I mean, I wouldn't. That's a great question. I don't know if I would say immediately I know
Right.
if it's going to work or not. But we kind of skipped over Tuesday, which is our 90s night, which I'm super excited about because I'm going to age myself a little bit. I grew up in the 90s, so very excited for that night. It is kind of like a blank canvas to kind of build the content around what we want that night to be, what our concourse activations should look like, what our Nashville Fun Zone should look like, and really creating the best experience that we possibly can for our fans when they come to Bridgestone Arena.
Yeah, well, I was going to bring up 90s night because I'm, a child of the 90s as well. So I feel like that's one that always gets people's attention because it's just so much fun to kind of have that nostalgia. And, Pete Weber, Terry Crisp can tell old stories about the early days of the Preds and things like that. So I feel like people really gravitate towards that.
Absolutely. I don't want to give away too much, but we have a few surprises planned for that night. A lot of fun touches. Yeah. That's another one that you're going to want to get there early for because the first 5,000 fans in the door receive a pair of 90s inspired sunglasses courtesy of Eurostone. So we have that, but then we also have a lot of fun other things happening throughout the night.
So hold on. You might have a special guest on 90s night on Tuesday?
Oh, you never know. I mean, only in Smashville, right? You never know who's going to show up on any given night.
Can you text me Vanilla Ice when we get off the air? Because I'll be there today if he's going to be there. No, I like this. Is a good tease, Jarek. I like this.
There you go. Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny that Vanilla Ice will be at the arena, but you never know.
All right,
you never know for sure. Jarek, thanks so much for doing this. Have fun with these theme nights on this homestand, and I know there'll be much more to look forward to for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're interested in getting tickets for our 4-game homestand, as always, for more details and to purchase tickets, go to NashvillePredators.com.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jarek. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
I appreciate him for joining us on the program as talk a little marketing.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, oh, man, maybe Ice Ice Baby was 1989 or 90, and I just looked. It came out in 1990.
Yeah, 90.
So I'm good.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's funny. There are like some with 90s country. There's some like Shenandoah, the 2 Dozen Roses. I think was actually 89 when it was recorded, but I think it was released early 1990s. So
Guns N' Roses is an 80s band.
87 was Appetite for Direction.
A friend of mine is opening for Vanilla Ice around the country right now. A guy named Joe Denham. And he's been all over the country in Canada opening for Vanilla Ice. And he said, night after night, you would just be amazed how popular he still is. We laugh at him. MTV banned his video. Remember that big thing? They banned his video, but he still, because of one song that he stole, he's still massively popular. It'd be the same thing if Milli Vanilli toured today.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what TikTok is all lip syncing. And Milli Vanilli did it back in the
my favorite
80s.
thing was when that whole thing happened with Ice Ice Baby and Under Pressure, which was the song in question with Queen and David Bowie, that he was like, no, theirs is like dun 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 dun. Mine is dun 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 dun.
That's right. Like behind the music.
Tried to explain it.
It was something, man. And the other one was when Milli Vanilli was on stage and the record skipped.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, girl, you know it. Girl, you know it. Girl, you know it. And they ran off the stage.
That was the end of them.
Yep, that was it. And then one of those guys, I think,
you're maybe right.
Yeah.
But what was the Ghostbusters? Ray Parker Jr. was I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis.
Ripped it off, man. Yep. And then
anytime that song is played, Huey gets a piece of it.
He does. And also, what's the one Every Breath You Take that P. Diddy took from Sting?
Yeah.
And then they asked Sting, is like, I think Sting donated the money to charity and said, I'll give it okay if I play on the record with you. Like all the money was donated.
Yeah, but he wasn't. I don't think he was on the record.
Well, when he did live,
Faith Evans did it.
When he started doing more live performances,
oh,
he did the MTV,
there was it. Yeah, there was.
He did all that, and so there was a story of a guy here, a blues guy here, that had a song in the '60s that some German Euro pop band took his lyric and ended up making a couple $1 million of it. I mean, it's so you steal the stuff, you're going to get caught.
It happens all the time for sure. 615-737-1025. We will give away some tickets to see the Lumineers coming up in our next segment. Before you can buy them, they go on sale in about 15 minutes, but we'll give you a chance to win those. do that here in just a little bit. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. You know, I got to tell you. So after last Saturday night, Cody Johnson was in town. He played 2 shows at Bridgestone Arena. Friday night, Saturday night, both were sold out. Fantastic. If you're into true classic country music, Cody Johnson is your guy. Carrie Underwood came out. Luke Combs came out. It was awesome. The night before, Marcus King, the great guitar player, came out and played with him for a little bit.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was really cool. Randy Hauser opened for him the first night, Ashley McBride the second night. So just had a great lineup. But I in Saturday night, I was up in the Eurostone Club, and I look over and I see a young Dr. Crane 2-stepping. I mean, tears flowing down his face.
My man.
It's incredible.
He was touched by the music, singing every word.
Now, if somebody calls you out on it, you used to say I was doing the Kendrick Lamar little slacks. That's almost like a 2-step
Yeah, that is kind of like
in itself.
With some bell-bottom jeans on.
But I'm telling you, brother, if you learn how to 2-step and do the schottish, you go to any country bar or saloon in the world and pick up women. I'm telling you right now. I am telling you. Work at the Wrangler for so many years as I did, the coach and I did that. You'd be amazed at guys like, oh, whatever. And they'd be the best dancers and danced and hung out with the best looking women you'll ever imagine in your life.
Put that in my notes.
It's
Nashville
he's
Palace
not wrong.
tonight.
He's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong. I mean, when Cody Johnson did like a little bit of a 2-step on stage, all the girls went nuts.
Come on, right?
And I mean, and this dude, like, he's very, very talented, but this dude is like an old cowboy. He's 30, he's my age. He's like 36, 37, 38. Was a cowboy. He's balding, like he's a little
Me.
pudgy.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
me. All right.
you know,
keep
so
going.
but it's like had everybody in the palm of their hand.
All right. So Dr. Crane, our buddy, the Hobbs own Nashville Palace.
I don't believe they own that, but they, in a roundabout way. Maybe. Yeah.
kind
Okay.
of something like that.
Cool.
Maybe.
All right,
Don't
Continue.
question him.
Yeah, I shouldn't.
But line dancing on, we'll take you out there. We'll make it Dr. Crane line dancing night.
We can do
Sponsored
it.
by Chase and myself. And you do it out there, and but you got to wear like the tight Garth Brooks brush popper shirts.
No chaps, Joe. Come on.
Well, no, not chaps.
All right.
Wranglers.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah, and boots, and then toothpick like David Beauclair, and then walk around and you got to give like, how you doing, ma'am? Tip your hat to everybody you come across.
What kind of hat you want to wear? A
Cowboy
baseball
hat.
cap, trucker cap?
A cowboy. Don't you have a cowboy hat when you coached the SMU football team?
I do. Yeah, I still have that.
Okay. Is that a 10-gallon or what is that?
Maybe 2.5.
Okay. You need to wear that when you go. It's exercise. You got the cowboy hat on, everything. I think you'd be a superstar over there.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I do enjoy the dance. It is nice.
Okay. Then it's done.
That's also a great song. The dance.
That breaks your heart though, man. Rips you apart.
It does, but I mean, it's a good message, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it is, and it plays.
I could have missed the pain, but then I'd had to miss the dance. I mean,
Well, that's what so I'm going through now.
Sure.
You go through with your parents when you lose your parents. I mean, it's the ending, like with my mother, was god awful. And I could have missed that, but then you missed the dance, right?
Mhm.
You missed all the good times. Same thing with your father. I mean, all the good times. The ending sucked. It rips your heart out, man. But all the good times you had with whomever, I mean, it weighs more than anything else.
this is you bring up my dad. This is a true story. So the night he passed, we're at, I'm leaving the hospital, and you know how you've been through this. It's just you're numb. Like you're just
right.
you're walking and you're about to go get in your car, but you don't. Like I kind of felt like I was watching myself, like I was like out of body. It was just kind of one of those things. And I just got in my car, and my mom was like, are you good? Do you want to just leave your car here? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm fine. And I just kind of sat there for a second. And when I turned the car on, I turned the radio on. I kid you not, the dance was playing.
No.
Yeah. And it was like,
that's unbelievable.
and I, of course, just
sure,
bursted into tears. But it was like it was the perfect. God knows, like it was the perfect song, because it's the truth. So,
how long did you sit there for?
The whole song.
But like after, did you leave immediately or did you just?
Yeah, I think so. There's not a lot I remember. I mean, I remember that, and then I remember going to Wendy's and them not charging me. Like they just looked at me and could tell. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah.
That's good.
So-
My mother passed overnight, and I got home at 5:30 in the morning. I hadn't slept in like 3 days. And I swear to God, this happened. I pulled in my driveway and I sat there, and a cardinal landed on my hood.
Mhm.
And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, you have to be kidding me that this is going on right now. But never doubt. I mean, I was like, all right, I know you're fine. I know you're good. And I'll see you again one day. But stories like that with the dance and the cardinal landing on the car, I was just like, this is far bigger than me to ever kind of figure this out. So just love it and go with it.
Yep. 100%. Hair Metal Henry is accusing you of something on the
Uh-oh.
text line.
Sure.
He said, "Fun fact: Joe used to pee on the tree inside the Wrangler instead of the restroom."
Does he work?
I don't think so.
I don't think he does either. Did not, but we tried to break the tree the night
There
the
was a
Wrangler
tree
shut down.
inside the Wrangler.
Yeah, you danced around the tree.
Yeah.
It was great.
Where was the Wrangler?
1204 Murfreesboro Road, straight down on the right. And there's like 6 little stores there now. I'm telling
Gotcha.
you, man, there'll never be another nightclub in this town that comes anywhere near that because nobody went downtown.
Yeah.
And this was during the late 80s and 90s. Everybody would come out. Everybody. Brooks and Dunn and Travis Tritt and Vince and Allen. I became good friends with Mark Colley. He had a song called Man in the Moon back then. He would come in. Crystal Dew would come in.
Yeah.
All these guys would come in because 98 would do a radio show from 7 to midnight down there.
Yep.
And everybody like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 98. And you dance around the tree and everything. I mean, it was every night of the week. It was crowded. Sunday, Monday were dance night lessons. And then Tuesday through Saturday, everybody went in there. It was unbelievable the amount of people that came in there. On their quick story, Brooks and Dunn had their number one party for My Next Broken Heart. And every restaurant, every bar's got that one guy who's not all there. You know what I'm saying? He's there, but he's not all there. And he got there late. And he's a big Brooks and Dunn fan. And they're bringing the cake out for the number one party. And he collided with the server.
Oh,
And the cake went everywhere.
Oh, no.
And seeing Brooks and Dunn's face, they couldn't stop laughing because he's one of those guys that you love that just kind of gets on your nerves. And the cake went everywhere. I'll never forget that. And that was like, God, 91 or 92 back then. But it was a good time.
Oh, that's funny.
Show.
Real quick, we opened the show talking about the Yankees thing. And
Yes.
like the beard.
Richard.
Matt Fortuna tweeted out my favorite George Steinbrenner story. Quote: Jesus Christ had long hair and a beard. Lou Piniella told Steinbrenner, "Why can't we have beards and long hair?" The Yankee owner showed him a small pond behind the outfield fence. He says, quote, "You see that pond?" Steinbrenner asks, "Walk across that pond and you can have a beard and long hair."
Oh, that's great.
That's a great response.
Oh, that's great.
There's no coming back from that.
No. What did Burns say in The Simpsons? Wasn't he kind of part Steinbrenner?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, because he said, Mattingly, shave those sideburns.
Yeah.
And then Mattingly was like, that guy, like, something about him goes, still better than Steinbrenner.
right. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
That's what it is. We'll have more in hour number 2, including BJ Callahan, Nashville SC coach, is going to join us at 10:30. But before that, Chris Sanders will join us now at 10:15 here on Chasing Big Joe. Caller number 5, 615-737-1025. You can win a pair of tickets to see the Lumineers Friday, October 3rd at Bridgestone Arena. They go on sale in about 2 minutes, but you can call at 615-737-1025 and win those now. Broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership where the buzz is always about great service. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. He's Big Joe, Chase McCabe, Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Hope you're having a wonderful start to your day. Chris Sanders will join us in about 10 minutes at 10:15. Looking forward to talking to him. Some news out of hockey just coming down. The Vancouver Canucks, their general manager, Patrick Alvin, announced today that the club has agreed to terms with goaltender Kevin Lankinen on a 5-year contract extension worth about $4.5 million a year. So the former Predators goaltender gets a much-deserved contract extension with the Canucks, where he signed late in the offseason and kind of has become their guy. So congrats to Lanky.
Does this one hurt?
No, but I mean, I'm sure some Preds fans will be like, "Oh, he should have stayed."
I'm
here."
asking Chase McCabe.
No,
Okay. That's
But
where I
good
get
for
my
him.
knowledge, and I'm good.
I like him. I'm happy for him. So good for him that he found a home.
Together.
So we'll have Chris coming up in a few minutes. You said you had a question for me.
So, in Keyser had an update this morning, I heard for the first time, Elijah Molden, former Titans DB, signed a 3-year, basically $19 million contract extension with the Chargers on Thursday. Big deal. Drafted by
John Robinson.
Darrington Evans, still in the league. Drafted by
John Robinson.
Laurel Murchison, still in the league. You know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Can John Robinson, at his next interview, when they say, well, why did you let A.J. Brown go? And he says, it wasn't my decision. But look at the guys that I did draft that the Titans gave up on. I didn't give up on Molden. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few people like, Murchison came, I think, with the Rams or wherever he went in 22 and gone. Can John Robinson use that when he's talking to the next owner? If I'm an owner, I look at that far more than the A.J. Brown trade.
Okay. Can I
Yeah.
play devil's advocate for a second? Because I don't think you're wrong, but let's say he does that. And then the owner or whoever's doing the interview turns around and goes, so are you saying Vrabel was a bad coach? Because I mean, basically,
That's a good one.
Basically, you're kind of saying, and I don't think you're completely off base with this, that because when you see all these players leave and they go and they do well or have, they're still in the league.
Still in the league. That's the key.
It kind of makes you wonder. And a lot of these guys Vrabel didn't like, and it became very clear that he didn't like him. It's like, so does Vrabel just decide if if he's done with a guy, they just suck, or
I think that's it. I think when he's done, like, you could argue, you could pull out a few. David Long, I told you he didn't,
right,
miss the physical, or Christian Fulton, wherever he is, he's with the Chargers too as well, I think, right? Hassan Haskins scores a touchdown. I mean, I'm looking like, all right, I still got guys in the league. My job is to bring them in. He doesn't coach them. Now I've given them to you. The guy's got talent.
Right.
Can you develop it?
Right.
Now, Isaiah Wilson, you could say, look, we missed it.
Yeah, I mean, I
We
think
completely
everybody
missed
missed
on that
that one.
And then he has to have a mea culpa on Farley and say, that was wrong. I'm sorry. But let's look at, the other one I got, the Byard I got out of that one. The Jeffrey Simmons, who's still a good player. And I did draft A.J. Brown and things that go on. I think John Robinson has a lot of cachet that he could use beyond A.J. Brown. How do you
Look, I don't think you're completely off base there. And and then the question, and where that's going to help him is if Vrabel just goes to New England and flops.
Good point.
I mean,
That's a good point.
Because what's happening now? Kraft basically told him, you can pick the players, you can do whatever you want. The GM has been, I don't know the best FCC way to describe it, but clipped, so to speak. And so he can't, make, like, Vrabel released Taki this week, which was the GM's guy. And I think that was just I'm showing you who's in charge.
What's his name? Who are you talking
Last
about?
name was Taki. I forget his first name.
Who did he play? What did he
New
do?
England. He's a player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never heard of this guy. I like the
Yeah.
name though.
So, I mean, Vrabel's trying to show you he's in charge. I don't trust Vrabel to pick the players. He's a coach. I mean, and we saw it firsthand here when Jeff Fisher started having more influence on picking the players. What happened?
Yep.
I
think it's got to be 50-50.
It
right?
does. It does. They need each other.
Yeah.
The GM and the coach need each other. But when John Robinson and Vrabel were on the same page, things were very good. and they were getting good. You know, I mean, did they miss on a few? Of course, it's going to happen.
When was it that not Vrabel, Robinson had that crying spell?
That was the year he got fired. It was the beginning of that season.
So 22.
Yeah.
He started crying at the con. I laughed. I was like, this
Yeah.
didn't see it. I was just an odd thing.
But you know what? Even then, like, I'm like, okay, where's this going? But even then, I wasn't like, well, he's going to get fired.
No, but you go back and look at that now in the context of what's happened since then. It's like, was there an ultimatum? Was there like, all right, you got us to the 21, you're the number 1 seed, you blew it in the AFC playoffs, you had everything. Like, now repeat that in 22.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know what goes on.
But I do think you make a good point.
Yeah.
That he's got to be able to say, like, look, I mean, we drafted this guy and he's here, and like, you know, but I mean, he's got to be prepared to answer the other part of it of, well, was Vrabel the problem then?
Would you buy his book?
Oh, I'd be the first in line to buy his book.
What would be the name of John Robinson's book? Wasn't me. Don't blame me.
What was the date of the AJ trade?
December something, right?
No, it was
the trade. I'm sorry. I thought when he got fired, April something.
Yeah, name it that. Or, you know,
or
from Johnson City to Nashville, the story of a Titan, or I don't know.
He's from Union City.
Or Union
Yeah.
City.
How about the title of his book is, excuse me, Miss Amy, you got a second? That's it. The title of John Robinson's book. I just think this, when I saw the Elijah Molden or heard the news from Kaiser this morning, I was like, good for Elijah Molden, good for John Robinson. Because I still don't blame him.
This is the cover photo. If you're watching on the stream.
He looks constipated in that picture right there. Just sitting it out.
We love John, but
we
I
do.
don't know why that photo keeps popping up. He's just like,
but am I like you? Do I give him a pass for AJ Brown? I want to know this story. And people are like, well, you already know the story. No, I don't know the story. I want to know the story. I want to know how it all went down. I still want to know that.
I mean, here's the thing. I want to give him a pass for that, but I mean, he's still culpable in it. I mean, like,
I don't know. He's here. Where's Amy that night? It didn't just happen. I mean, I'm sure they had conversations.
Shed Bunko.
Bunko with the ladies. Dr. Crane was there.
Love me some Bunko.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
he bought the Boone's Farm whiskey that night out there. Hey, ladies, and your
the Zinfandel.
yeah, and your sweet charcuterie board you made for Caroline Fitton. That's really.
They got more of those, by the way.
That's nice.
When did you make a charcuterie?
She got a deal on that one.
It was last year, somewhere around that. I had some nice cedar wood that came in. It was beautiful.
Here we go.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, that's right.
Joe.
You did great though. I was like you're making that for her. I mean, it was nice.
Well, she asked. I was like,
I know.
I
She was. I think she was pleased because it turned out. I mean, it would be good, but far better than anything that happened. But I don't know. If John wants, I could help you give names for your book. Like, excuse me, Sam, you got a moment?
You know what? We both had a pretty good relationship with John.
Great one.
We should call him up and be like, John, we want to help you get back in the league. Will you trust us to be like your advisors?
Click.
Be like, John, can we come on your team and be your advisors? That's what you do.
I don't know. I mean, I know why he can't talk. He's still getting paid by her, and if he does something like that, he is persona non grata. Nobody's going to touch him. And I understand that. But maybe one day before I leave God's beautiful planet, he writes that book. And because there's never really been, I know Jim White wrote a book on the Titans. McLean wrote one, which is really good, about the lead up to moving here to Nashville.
There was just that one that's in here somewhere.
That came, whoever wrote that one.
Yeah.
I forget who wrote that. That you had somebody, right?
Yeah, it's right behind you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Justin.
Yeah.
Justin wrote that.
There you go. So there's been books, but none by
right.
Like I think Floyd would have been a great
Floyd
book.
would have been an awesome one. And I do wonder if he was gonna do that at some point. I mean, truthfully, he kind of did it every day because some of the stories that he would tell on Jared and the GM. Now there's some that he wouldn't tell, but
Yeah. Well, I know an SEC coach who's a good friend, no longer in the SEC, who said that one day he's going to write a book and it'll be. But they all say that.
Yeah.
I'll write a book. You won't believe this. really? But write the
Right.
book then, right? I want to know the book that goes out. But I really want to know how that all went down. That really bugs me.
What would be so fun is, and you and I don't know how we would do this, but it'd be fun to do a podcast series with like, Nick Saban or, Bill O'Brien, anybody. I mean, James Franklin, like as much as, he can be, still, if you just like, hey, we're going to do the tell all and you just talk about this. What's the first thing you'd ask James Franklin about?
This is an awful question.
I know. I think we're going to say the same thing.
What did you know about the rape
Yep.
case?
Bingo. Yep.
Because
That's
I've
where
heard
we'd start.
all kinds of things. I want to hear it from you.
When did you know and what did you know?
Yeah, there's no way he'd go on a podcast. for
No,
that.
he wouldn't. But I mean,
And I hate to bring it up because it's
Yeah.
tragic. It's awful. I'd have to ask that.
Yeah. That would be like journalistic integrity there.
You have to ask.
You would
You have to. But he says no or not. You have to ask.
Yep, for sure. Coming up next, we're going to ask Chris Sanders some fun questions. We'll talk to him. Coming up next, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hello. Is it Chris you're looking for? Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game on this Friday. Chris Sanders joins us now, forever Titans wide receiver. I mean, don't you just feel good when you hear that song?
I do, man. It's funny. It's a funny song, and it's so nice, calm, and cool. But the one thing I like about the song is Lionel Richie's afro. I mean, what? Absolutely.
I was about to
Attaboy.
say, I think I'm pretty sure.
Absolutely. And it was awful. It was just kind of, it wasn't shaped right. So
When you
I
were,
had that pig with the fist. I had one of those in my hair.
yeah,
So, yeah,
I was about to say, you
absolutely.
had like the mini fro when
Yes. I
in
did, but then
99
all of
or
a sudden-
something.
Yeah, I did, but then I started getting a cul-de-sac. So I had to, I had to
Well, I
once
thought-
I got that looking like George Jefferson, I had to cut it off. 'Cause
I thought that was Derek. Never mind.
Ooh, he made do his hair out one time. Man, he looked like Gary Coleman. I was like, whoa. No,
D
I'm
Mace
just
is,
kidding, you my
D
guy.
Mace is going to come in here and be like, why am I catching
my
strays
guy.
today? What'd I do?
I'm just kidding. That's my guy.
So look,
sir.
we're in that season, Chris, where
Yes.
I mean, it's just like 1 week it's
Yeah.
going to be this guy, and the next week it's going to be this guy. What did you make about Cam Ward's comments on,
Yeah.
that he's going to make, like, if you don't take me, like, I'm going to make you pay for it. In one way, I like a little bit of the cockiness, like a little bit of, I think Trevor referred to it as professional confidence, something
Yeah.
like that. But at the same time, is it a little too early to be trash talking, so to speak?
It's a lot early. Here's the thing. You just created a lot of pressure for yourself, because here's the thing. Say if the Tennessee Titans do take him at 1 and he throws his first interception and he throws another interception, the media is going to really get on him. There's nothing wrong with having confidence. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself, but you got to do it in the compounds of what you're trying to do. You want to prove yourself first. Prove that you can play this game. Prove that you can lead a team to a championship. Then you say those things. But here's the thing. You haven't stepped foot in the NFL game yet, because it's totally different from college. College, you can keep your scholarship. But
Right.
when you get into when you're in the pros, if you don't play good for 1 or 2 years, they're going to get you up out of here. So I love the confidence, but just do it in the right way. That's all I'm saying.
Talking to our good friend Chris Sanders. Chris, this is
What up?
this is for you.
You do.
Oh, get it, man. When you're cutting a rug tonight, you can play this song.
I
There
gotta
you
say Faith though, instead of oh she, like it's oh Faith, turn your love into the love, oh Faith.
Oh yes.
Dude, that is a jam.
Is it not, man? Ready? RFTW, brother. Gets it done.
Ready for the world? It
Yes.
sounded like
Ready
Prince.
for the world. Now, if you go look at their video and you see how their hair is like Jerry Curlish, that's how mine was in high school. So I look just like them.
He even looks like Prince. Sounded like
No.
Prince and looked like
He's
Prince.
He's a big dude too, man.
He's
That
a
guy was
big
huge.
dude,
Looked like
man.
Lee
Oh
Haney.
my God.
He was huge.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, we got the combine coming
sir.
up.
Sure.
Are we going to see a time when that combine is just nothing? It's going away, because you got guys who show up, they do the interviews. I get that, but they're not going to run. They're not going to bench press. I'm like, then why are you here?
Yeah, I know, and I think that guys should go through. But see, the guys that are doing it know they're going to get drafted in the first round. But here's the thing. Here's the reason why I know they're going to keep the combine is because you got guys that really have to jockey for a position to show that they can play this game. And I know it's a small piece of what they're doing, but the bigger piece is when they do the individual workout. But when I first got to the combine, I was basically still an unknown. And when I say unknown, everybody's like, oh, he's a track guy trying to play football. So I went in there showing that I'm a football player that happens to run track. So what I did the gauntlet drill, I did the cutting drills, I did the catching, and I proved myself, then jockeyed myself in a way to get into the third round. So now we come into the individual workouts. They already saw me at the combine. Now they get to really see me close up, and they saw that I can run. They saw I can get out of my cuts. They saw that I can run routes. So yeah, I know some of the guys don't do the combine, but you got still guys are jockeying for a position to get in the second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh round.
So if you don't get invited to the combine, I've heard some guys talk about, man, it really hurt me. But then on the flip side, you got a guy
No.
like Kevin Byard who's like, all right,
Absolutely.
you don't want me in Indianapolis? Well, here's what you're going to see me do. And he did over at TSU, and he was just great.
Absolutely.
I see the 50-50 of this. I see guys with a chip on their shoulder like, oh, I didn't get invited. All right, well, you're going to pay for it now.
Yeah, well, see, it's funny that you say that because we had a guy my senior year. His name was Preston Harrison. And at the beginning of the season, he broke his tailbone, so he couldn't really play the whole season. So now he gets into the individual workouts, and he was a linebacker at the time. And that joker ran 4.39. So when you ran a 4.39 individual workouts, here's a guy that didn't play the whole season. Nobody knew about him, but he went through the drills and showed that he was a football player and got drafted the 5th round.
Ooh.
I mean, it's it all depends on what you do with your individual workout. Everybody knows the Shedeur Sanders, the Hunters, the Cam Wards, Abdul, all those guys are going to get drafted in the 1st round. But then you have those guys that go and that you don't know nothing about. He runs a 4.3 or a 4.2, and his drills are incredible. Next, he gets drafted in the 6th and 7th round.
I think, it's funny about that. I heard TD talking with, that might have been Jared, about Shedeur Sanders, and I always want to see guys when they're getting the hell beat out of them, how they get back up. And there was that one game, I think it might have been the Nebraska game, where they beat the snot out of him. And that dude popped back up every single time. That's what I want to see. A combine is not going to show me that, right?
Yeah. But see, here's the thing. That's what makes Shedeur Sanders so well. What is one of his great attributes? His great attributes is mental and physical toughness.
Yes.
I mean, we see that in that guy. I mean, that's what makes him so special. I think this is just my opinion. I think Cameron Ward is a better quarterback, but mentally, I think that Shedeur Sanders is better. So when you go out and you prove that, you get hit in the face, you take criticism, and you keep popping up, those are the kind of cats that you want on your team. Just like a Steve McNair. Let me tell you something. Steve McNair is one of the toughest guys I've ever been around. Not that he did everything right, but he's going to lay it on the line. He's going to have a broken sternum. He's going to have a broken rib. He's going to have, a broken ankle, but he's going to figure out a way to fight through the pain to help his team. That's the kind of cats that I want.
Chris Sanders is with us. So when you're looking at, we know that the Titans got to fix the offensive line. There's no question that they have to address that. But when you're looking at quarterback, do you build the offensive line in some ways based on the type of quarterback that you have? Like, could Shedeur Sanders maybe have a different type of O-line than Cam Ward?
You hit it right on the head, because you can be a great quarterback. You can go through all your reads. You can do all the great things. But if you don't have a great offensive line, you can't, your whole skill set can come to fruition. Let me give you a perfect example. Just watching the Super Bowl. If you look at Mahomes was uncomfortable. Why? Because his offensive line was getting destroyed. This is a guy that's going to be a Hall of Famer. He's won a lot of Super Bowls already. But when you get into a game and you feel uncomfortable in the pocket, you can't go through your reads. You consistently get off your spot. You can't do all the things that you're familiar doing. You're going to look like an average quarterback because your offensive line is getting destroyed. So now, to answer your question, you have to get an offensive line that protects your quarterback so his skill set can come to fruition.
Very good stuff. Chris, have a wonderful weekend, my friend.
Man, I love you guys. Appreciate you, fellas.
You too. Chris Sanders, Forever Titans wide receiver, joining us here on the show, as he always does. Coming up next, Nashville SC opens their season tomorrow night at Geodis Park against New England. BJ Callahan, their head coach, will join us coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday. And coming up tomorrow, Geodis Park, the boys in gold are back at it as Nashville SC gets their season underway. And we're delighted to have on for the first time on our show, BJ Callahan. He's the head coach of Nashville SC. Coach, how the heck are you?
Yeah, great. Back from Florida after a couple weeks of preseason and back excited to be in our own facility, training on our own fields. We look forward to Saturday's match at home.
Yeah, and you took over last year and had roughly 15 games or so under your belt. How much does that help you move it into this year, even though there's been quite a bit of changes with your roster?
Yeah, any amount of time you get to spend with the group and be around the organization and start to build relationships, I think always helps. So for us, it was an opportunity that we looked at as almost like a head start into 2025. We aligned our short-term goals, which was to try and make the playoffs with a late push, but also with long-term goals in mind. And we spent a lot of time in the background building player profiles, building the way we want to play. So that we were able to attack the 2025 season as quick as we could.
What do you like about this roster? Because you have a nice mix of veterans, guys like Hani that have been here for a long time, and then also you've brought in a lot of young guys that hope to add a little spark to your roster. So what do you like about the mix?
Yeah, we really like the mix because I think last year when you look at it, there was still a lot of good in the club. There was a lot of, whether that's on the field or off of the field. And so we were just looking to build upon that. And now we're excited that we were able to add a few new pieces, kind of like, I would say, reposition and replenish the roster a little bit, and diversify it with types of players, freshen it up, but at the same time, always building on the good foundation that was here. And so I think, kind of combining that gives us two positive steps forward.
BJ Callahan here with us on the Chasing Big Joe show. BJ, I got to ask you, you have Patrick Yazbek, Eddie Tagseth, two guys that are solid midfielders for your group, and you added a new guy, Ahmed Qasim, coming to the group this past week. Now, I just got to know, what is it about the Scandinavian Premier League? Is it something your scouts enjoy watching, that style of football, or is it something that complements your style of the game? What is it for you guys?
It's a great question. I think it's more just coincidence. I wouldn't say, we have a great scouting team here. We have markets that we've targeted that we think translate well to the MLS. We're very detailed with our player profiles on how we're looking at players, but we are searching in a very global way, whether that's from South America to Scandinavia to Europe, to Africa, to everywhere. And so I think it ends up honestly just being coincidence that they ended up from Scandinavian countries. I think all three of them are unique in their own way, but at the same time fit the way that we want to play here at Nashville.
You mentioned about the player profile earlier. I'm just curious with Ahmed Qasim, he has a good profile of playing in the Serie A, playing in La Liga, playing against Premier League, Tottenham, and Europa League, that is. I'm just curious, when it comes to a player profile, what attracted you as a coach towards him?
Yeah, I think he's a versatile player that can play across probably the three midfield positions, whether it's left winger, right winger, or a number 10. Very comfortable in between the lines, a player that looks to play make, trying to get his teammates involved and not afraid to run into the hard areas in the penalty box. And so for us as a team that wants to generate more high quality goal scoring chances, and, we want to score more goals. I know it sounds a bit obvious and cliche, but, I think in this league, you have to be a goal scoring team. He has those qualities that can not only, I think, score goals, but I think some of his greatest qualities is setting up his teammates to score goals.
We're talking to BJ Callahan on the Chasing Big Joe show. Coach, how do you scout heading into the season? Because, in football, you got the preseason games, basketball, exhibition games. How do you scout when you get ready for a team like New England?
Yeah, we scour the same way anybody would be to try to find the games that they have streamed, the games that they have live. Obviously, they've had a big roster turnover as well. And so you dig deep on individual players, learning about the opponents that we're going to play. So it's a little bit on an individual basis as well as it is, on the team concepts that they're going to do. But we have a pretty well-defined way we go about preparing for each opponent and breaking them down. And, you know, we do the same versus New England, even though you probably do have a little bit of limited information because it's just coming out of preseason matches and they haven't played a real match yet.
That's why the first games, I would think, as a coach, you're just nervous because you're trying to get your team to gel. You're worried about what the other team's doing because you really haven't seen a whole lot of them. I mean, it's I guess there's a method to all the madness, I would think.
There's definitely a method to the madness. You know, I think we have our process on how we want to approach the opponent. But at the same time, I would say there's a significant focus early in the year on ourselves and just making sure that we're prepared on how we want to execute our game plan, you know, versus New England versus maybe changing anything due to New England. So, yeah, I mean, we're continuing to pound the same messages that we want to do as our team so that we can put out good, consistent performances when, you know, with the first one coming Saturday night.
BJ Callahan here with us. And we talked earlier about the mix of the veterans and the young guys. A guy that I think anybody that's going to scout your club is going to look at is Walker Zimmerman. And, you know, somebody that's been here since day one, does a lot with Team USA and plays for them. You know, how do you see him flourishing in your system, and what do you want to see him do that maybe you didn't get to see in those 15 games last year? What would you like to see this year?
Yeah, I think the demands that we've put on Walker are that, you know, he's on the ball, controlling build-up, advancing our build-up to try to get it into the midfield so we can go, we can attack the goal. His ability to obviously win aerial duels and win his individual matchups against, you know, really talented strikers in this league. The ability to cover space behind the back line is a big thing. And then we want him to continue to be a weapon on offensive set pieces. And so for us, it's just about, I think, all of those things are things that people have seen him do across his career. And for us, it's just for him to continue to execute those at a super high level.
BJ, going into, you know, the opening game for match day one at the end of the preseason after Austin, you mentioned that you weren't really sure what your starting 11 is going to look like on night one. Now, with the addition of Ahmed Qasim, what is that going to look like now? Is it just going to add more depth to the substitutions, or is it going to be just one of the things where you got to ease him into it and he'll be an everyday type guy?
Yeah, I would say we still don't know what our starting 11 is going to be, but the addition of Ahmed gives us, you know, more depth for sure. A lot of guys have had opportunities in the preseason to play good minutes as well. So there's real good, healthy competition in the group right now, and I think as we get closer to Thursday, Friday, we'll be able to narrow down who we want to have as that starting 11.
Hey, Coach, we're happy to fire up Football Club 25, and we'll see what we come up with. We can help you out with that if you need it.
Appreciate it. No one is short of giving their opinion, so I value and respect all opinions.
Speaking of positioning, Coach, you know, going back to the signing of Ahmed Qasim, I'm curious because you mentioned he's an attacking midfielder. You can play him on the left and right wing, also in just a midfielder attacking position. Is he resemble more of like an Alex Muyl? I'm not saying style of play, but in that position where it's out on the wing primarily.
Yeah, I think you see Alex is a great example of the development that he's shown over the last, maybe 4 to 5 months. Is a player who's comfortable coming inside, receiving the ball, running it back lines, you know, making the penalty box. I think Alex had a career high in goals last year, by just arriving in the penalty box and benefit of some action. So, of course, you know, I think for us being, you know, looking for that type of profile is what we're looking for, whether it's Alex, Ahmed, or anybody who plays on the wing. That's the positional demand that we ask from there, and we want to set our players up to have success.
No doubt. Coach, thanks so much for doing this. We're excited to get the season going and obviously get to know you a little bit more, but thanks so much and good luck Saturday against New England.
Thanks. Appreciate having me, guys.
That is BJ Callahan, head coach of Nashville SC. And again, they're opening their season tomorrow against New England, starting at 7 at Geodis Park. Coming up today, don't forget Vanderbilt baseball as the Commodores host St. Mary's. The game time has been moved. Pregame at 1:45, the first pitch at 2 over at the Hawk. Coverage available on 94.9 The Fan. You can listen on the Game Nashville app and the GameNashville.com. We'll come back. We'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays on this Friday. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe on a Friday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. I'm glad it's Friday. I can just tell you that. We'll do birthdays and all of that in just a second. But again, a big weekend in Nashville. Got the Preds, 5 o'clock start tomorrow and on Sunday. Nashville SC, Vanderbilt baseball, Vanderbilt basketball, Vanderbilt women's basketball, MTSU going on as well. Belmont. I mean, everybody. There's a lot of stuff to do sports-wise this weekend, so it should be a lot of fun.
I'm getting texts from people that need to stop bothering me during the show.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One is a Chase McCabe is like, "Hey man, what are we doing this weekend?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "There's a lot going on."
There sure is. That is for sure. But you know what? It's time for our favorite. What day is it? And celebrity birthdays. It is presented by Jared Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards, electrical services, which include installations, inspections, upgrades, and replacement. Just go to online at jaredcompaniesinc.com.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list, we have card reading day. So if you have a birthday or something,
Read
just
some cards.
read some cards.
That's good.
International Mother Language Day.
Oh, I know. There's one international sign that works everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet.
Thumbs up.
National National Caregivers Day is next. Let's
It's a good
see
one.
down on the list here. National Grain Free Day. National Sticky Buns Day is next. Yeah, those are, you
Hey
can
now.
find a few of those every now
I
and
bet
then.
you do.
At the bakery.
Yeah.
National Woman's Heart Day is next. Love that. Love your mom. How about that? Shout
Sure.
out to the moms. Single Tasking Day. Not sure what. World Kombucha Day is next.
Is that
Oh.
drink?
That is. I found something out about kombucha over this past week.
Yeah. What'd you find out, buddy?
It's a bacteria.
So
Yeah.
is that good for us or bad for us?
It can be good. It has nutritional value in some form and
I
fashion.
wouldn't market it that way, but that's just me.
Yeah, just
Hey, have a glass of bacteria. I'm
I'll show
good.
you the video afterwards to
I'm
both of you.
pass.
But
All right.
I'm done. Yeah, up to the birthday.
What was the first one you had?
National Card Reading Day?
So could that be gambling as well? Can't you read cards in Vegas? Chase, you're a Vegas guy. Can't you get kicked out for reading
Yeah,
something like
for
that?
counting cards.
Counting cards.
Yeah.
Shows you what I know. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. It's been a good week for neither one of you. Our first
Thanks.
birthday today is C-3PO, actor Anthony Daniels. How old's Anthony
Oh, man.
Daniels?
81.
76.
79. Chase gets that. Is C-3PO the biggest sissy in cinema?
I think so.
He's always gloom and doom, right?
Yeah. He's always scared of everything.
So,
This is not a good idea, R2.
all right. Actress Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Party of 5, bunch of different things. I'm gonna say 45.
48.
46. Chase up 2-0. By the way, the picture of Jennifer Love Hewitt, she's at the premiere of the 911 event in California. Maybe
Oh yeah, she's in that.
maybe she'll come here.
Yeah.
The very funny, very talented Jordan Peele. Today's his birthday.
Is that Key and Peele?
It is.
I'm gonna say 44.
42.
46. Chaser popping the outsides. 3-0. He's up right now. Na, 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 na. Don't know who that
Dun,
is.
dun, 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 dun.
More celebrities. Let's see if we know any of these guys here. Record company executive David Geffen.
Oh,
He's very popular.
I'm gonna say he's 78.
80.
82. Dr. Crane's on the board. 3-1. From Cagney and Lacey, Tyne Daly.
Oh wow. 87.
89.
79. The great actor from CSI, William Peterson. He kind of started that franchise.
Yeah. Grissom. 67.
65.
72. Singer Mary Chapin Carpenter.
58.
63.
67. Actor Christopher Atkins. He was in Blue Lagoon with Brooke Shields. Is that right? Yeah.
Oh 61.
58.
64. Actor William Baldwin, Billy Baldwin, married to the
Billy Baldwin. I'm Alec Baldwin.
married
Kim
to the
Basinger. Basinger.
married to the Wilson Phillips girl.
58.
62.
62 exactly. Dr.
Nice.
Crane's tied it at 3. I like this.
Backdraft is a great movie.
Oh my Lord! At the end,
Oh yeah.
the funeral procession.
Yeah.
Whew. You
Get
get
you.
me now, man. That
Yeah.
just actor Corbin Blue. He was in High School Musical. He was a cutie with curly hair and the different colored eyes. Corbin Blue. Look, I watched that stupid movie 1,000 times with my daughter.
37.
34.
36. Chaser takes the lead 4-3. Go down, drop down here. Nobody there. All right, we got 3 left. This for Joe Rexroad, Detroit Tigers second baseman Alan Trammell, World Series champion in '84. Alan Trammell.
65.
61.
67. Chaser up 5-3. Braylon Edwards, former Michigan receiver, and now he played with the Browns for a while.
40.
38.
42. He's up 6-3. Our last birthday. Dr. Crane, you ready?
Let's do this.
All right. Where'd you go back there?
I just had to grab something from my back.
Okay. This last one's worth 4 points.
4 points.
Chasers up 6-3. This birthday, in honor of you, Dr. Crane, how old, and Chase will go first, how old is Kelsey Grammer?
Oh,
It's worth 4. Kelsey Grammer is the
Doctor.
name for our Dr. Crane back there.
Dr. Fraser Crane, I'm listening, is
It's worth 4, Chase.
72.
74.
At the buzzer, he does not get it. He's 70. Chase wins
Why? Why?
7-3. It's what Ryan Seacrest does on your favorite show.
Uh,
There you go.
Hold
Chase
on.
wins
70,
over
how old? 73?
70. 70.
70.
You had 72 at 74.
Okay.
Well
Wow.
done. So that's it. So Chase, you win the week 3-2.
Well, thank you very much.
Top
Yeah,
notch,
appreciate
Chase.
it.
Top
Who's this,
notch.
who's this brought by? Who?
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
brought to you by Jarrett Companies Inc. Above and beyond industry standards. Visit them at JarrettCompaniesInc.com.
There we go. The weekend's here, guys. Next week's going to be a little bit bright, a little sunny. We talk about going through the dark clouds because they move out and they got beautiful sunshine ahead. That's what we have weather-wise. But also in your life, if you're going through something, please reach out and talk to somebody. Know that brighter and better days are ahead. I've been there. I know what it's like. You've been there. You know what it's like. Reach out on your cell phone. You can dial 988 or you can text 988. Somebody's always there to talk to you before you do anything. I'm telling you, you would be tremendously missed if something happened to you. We want you to know that you're tremendously loved. Reach out to us. Remember, we love you. More importantly, more than anything else going on, God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll. DVD coming up next here on 102.5, 106.3 The Game.